In a secluded corner of the Pacific Ocean, one of the most peculiar contemporary cultural phenomena arose, a local religious movement dedicated to the respect and veneration of a figure belonging to the British royal family. Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, was not merely a political symbol or the spouse of a queen. Rather, in the consciousness of a group of inhabitants of Tanna Island, he transformed into an entity that transcended the traditional concept of an ordinary human being. This unique phenomenon combines the deep mythological heritage of the people of Vanuatu with the modern symbols brought by the colonial era. Amid this intersection, a movement emerged that redefines the relationship between center and periphery, between power and symbol, and between belief and reality. This video is not an attempt to explain the phenomenon from the outside. Rather, it is an invitation to enter its world and understand how history transforms into legend, and how a distant symbol becomes a living part of a collective identity that reproduces its own meaning. To learn more details, follow us until the end, and don't forget to support us by liking the video and subscribing to the channel to receive all our new content. The Prince Philip movement in Vanuatu represents a unique cultural and social phenomenon that blends local traditions with Western symbols. Here, the local inhabitants regard Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, as a spiritual figure and an expression of loyalty and a communal identity deeply rooted in the island's history. This movement began in Vanuatu, a country located in the Pacific Ocean, within a complex historical context reflecting colonial influences and the interaction of the indigenous population with foreign powers. The historical and ideological origins of the Prince Philip movement in Vanuatu stem from a complex interaction between local myths and the colonial history of the region, particularly on Tanna Island, one of Vanuatu's islands in the South Pacific. The people of Tanna long believed that the spirits of their ancestors would return in the form of great beings coming from distant lands. Over time, Prince Philip came to represent for them the embodiment of an ancient prophecy that spoke of a strong-spirited white man with blue eyes, arriving from faraway lands and descended from their great spirits, who would eventually return to bring them peace and prosperity. This belief coincided with Prince Philip's visit to Vanuatu alongside Queen Elizabeth II in the 1960s, which reinforced the followers' conviction that he was the awaited sacred figure. This was not merely a religious fantasy, it was a spiritual vision that formed the ideological foundation of the movement, as Prince Philip was considered not only a symbol of authority, but also a sacred being connected in a special way with the spirits of the ancestors and the island's people. Ideologically, the movement adopted a system of beliefs that integrates the traditional spiritual conceptions of the people of Tanna with the notions of respect and obedience to authority symbolized by the British royal family. The followers did not see Prince Philip merely as a political or royal leader. They saw him as a mediator between the spiritual and material worlds, a concept akin to prophets or returning spirits found in many ancient religions. This perspective made images of Prince Philip sacred symbols, displayed in homes, surrounded by veneration, accompanied by special rituals in his name, and celebrated through festivals on specific days linked to his life and news about him. Although there was no official support from the British royal family for this movement, they did not object to the phenomenon. On one occasion, they even sent a signed photograph of Prince Philip to the followers of the movement, which further deepened their reverence for him and their sense of spiritual connection. Later, in 2007, a delegation from the people of Tanna visited Britain at the invitation of documentary producers and met Prince Philip in person behind the walls of Buckingham Palace. The full details of the meeting were not publicly released, but its mere occurrence strengthened their belief in his sacredness. Through this quiet and deliberate interaction, Prince Philip did not invalidate their faith, but, unintentionally, reinforced it, as if the British silence regarding an ancient tribal belief itself legitimized and sustained the legend. When Prince Philip passed away in April 2021, it was not merely a global event in the eyes of the people of Tanna. Rather, it was a profound spiritual moment, akin to the absence or transition of a deity to another realm. Members of the movement performed traditional funeral rites, including dances, offerings, and farewell words directed to his spirit, which they believed had returned to the sacred mountain where the spirits of their ancestors reside. These rituals were not solely expressions of grief, but also embodied the idea of return and rebirth, as some believed that Prince Philip would return to them in a new form, perhaps in the body of a child born among them, or in another symbolic guise. The movement did not end with his death. Instead, it took on a more contemplative and calm form. While the allure of the legend diminished in the eyes of the outside world, it continued to exist in the consciousness of those who intertwined myth with history, connecting a man who never lived among them with a spiritual identity shaped over centuries through a complex relationship with the wider world. The Prince Philip movement in Vanuatu is distinguished by its unique rituals and traditions, which reflect the deep connection of the followers to this spiritual symbol, whom they see as the embodiment of one of the great spirits coming from a distant world. These practices are not merely religious or celebratory. They are also a means of expressing identity and belonging. They are performed within a framework of sanctity and profound respect, whether through daily rituals or special occasions that honor Prince Philip. The followers of the movement conduct regular ceremonies that involve offering symbolic sacrifices, such as traditional foods or drinks, at sacred sites within the village. They believe that the spirit of Prince Philip is present and blesses them during these rituals. These offerings are accompanied by special chants and prayers recited by the elders or spiritual leaders of the movement, who are considered mediators between the people and the spirit of Prince Philip. These rituals are not carried out randomly. Rather, they occur according to specific dates and events, such as the prince's birthday, or during natural phenomena that the followers interpret as spiritual signs from him. Another common tradition is the hanging of Prince Philip's pictures in homes and communal gathering places. These images are treated in the same way that sacred symbols are treated in other religions. The pictures are often decorated with traditional fabrics or local flowers, and sometimes candles are lit in front of them, or symbolic objects expressing respect and loyalty are placed nearby. Stories related to Prince Philip are told to children as part of cultural and religious education, presenting the prince as a great figure belonging to them and linking them to the wider world. During major occasions, the followers organize celebrations resembling tribal festivals. These include traditional dances performed specifically to honor Prince Philip, involving men, women, and children. Women wear garments decorated with symbolic patterns, while men wear special headdresses representing wisdom and leadership. Drums are beaten, and chants are performed glorifying the prince and invoking his blessing upon the community. There are also traditions conducted in secrecy, known only to the close members of the movement's leaders. These include rituals of spiritual communication or visions, some of which are believed to come directly from Prince Philip through dreams or meditations. Some followers believe that the spirit of Prince Philip guides them in their daily lives, providing strength and reassurance in times of need. These secret rituals constitute one of the most significant elements of mystery and spirituality within the movement, reinforcing the status of spiritual leaders and making them highly respected within the community. Ritual practices are not limited to ceremonial acts. They extend into daily life. Followers are encouraged to uphold good behavior, engage in community cooperation, and maintain mutual respect, considering these teachings in harmony with the values represented by Prince Philip. Demonstrating such behaviors is believed to be a form of devotion and a means of drawing closer to the sacred spirit that he embodies. The movement also interacts with the local religious and political contexts. Despite the dominance of Christian churches in the region, the movement maintains its spiritual position without direct confrontation, coexisting in a complex manner with other belief systems. Over time, the movement has experienced developments and influences from globalization and social changes, prompting some followers to reinterpret rituals to suit contemporary realities, while still retaining their spiritual and symbolic essence. Testimonials from followers highlight how the movement provides them with a sense of reassurance and strength, reinforcing their connection to their roots and cultural identity in the face of ongoing challenges. The relationship between the Prince Philip movement and the local community in Vanuatu is deeply rooted and complex, extending beyond mere belief in a symbolic figure to become an integral part of the social and cultural fabric that shapes the identity of the inhabitants of Tanna Island, where the movement is widespread. The emergence of this movement was not a momentary event, but rather the result of a long interaction between the spiritual heritage of the local people and external influences, particularly British, which entered the country during colonial periods. From the perspective of the local community, the Prince Philip movement is seen as a way to redefine their relationship with the outside world in a manner that preserves the island's cultural and spiritual independence. Rather than perceiving the British royal family as an external colonial authority, as is the case in other regions, the followers of the movement reinterpreted this authority through their own perspective, making Prince Philip a figure close to them, even part of their spiritual lineage. This bestowed upon him a sense of sanctity and established a unique spiritual connection with him. In this way, the movement became a clever means of domestically adapting Western symbols to serve local beliefs. This belief plays a significant social role, serving as a unifying factor within the community. Rituals and celebrations associated with the movement are considered opportunities to renew bonds of kinship and belonging, and to reinforce values of cooperation and respect among village members. Religious leaders within the movement hold a special status, being regarded as guardians of heritage and spiritual guides. This position grants them an active role in resolving disputes, guiding individuals, and maintaining social harmony, making the movement an effective element in achieving local stability. The movement has also contributed to strengthening the pride of local inhabitants in their cultural identity, especially in the face of globalization and socioeconomic changes that might threaten small traditional communities. Instead of feeling isolated or marginalized, the followers find affirmation of their value as a community with a unique spirituality and distinct history in their beliefs. They even see themselves as guardians of a global spiritual heritage, embodied in their symbolic relationship with Prince Philip. Economically, the movement has had an indirect impact as well. It attracted the attention of researchers, tourists, and the media to Tanna Island, generating a form of cultural and touristic activity that contributed additional income to the area. However, the local people handle this external attention cautiously, seeking to balance economic benefits with the preservation of the privacy of their beliefs. The Prince Philip movement in Vanuatu has garnered wide interest in global media and academic research, emerging as a strange and unusual topic that combines culture, religion, and social identity in a remote Pacific region. Initially, the media covered the movement from an angle of curiosity and peculiarity, considering it an exceptional phenomenon worthy of attention due to the blending of indigenous traditions with Western symbols, particularly the figure of Prince Philip, husband of Queen Elizabeth II. Reports and documentaries highlighted the rituals and celebrations conducted by the followers of the movement, showing how a political figure transformed into a sacred symbol within the local community. This media coverage contributed to spreading awareness of the movement beyond Vanuatu's borders, increasing its fame and attracting tourists and researchers interested in alternative cultures and new religions. In academic research, the movement has been studied across multiple disciplines, including anthropology, sociology, and religious studies. Researchers have sought to understand its origins, development, and impact on the local community. Studies have examined how local inhabitants reinterpret foreign symbols and adapt them to their beliefs, as well as how the movement reinforces the cultural identity of the community while maintaining social cohesion. Comparative studies have also been conducted with other local religious movements in Pacific Islands, seeking patterns and differences in interaction with colonial powers and Western symbols. Additionally, scholars have explored the political dimensions of the movement. Some interpret it as a form of symbolic resistance against external cultural domination, while others see it as an expression of intelligent adaptation and harmony with new realities. Many studies affirm that the Prince Philip movement is not merely personal veneration, but a social phenomenon reflecting the capacity of traditional communities to create new meanings that preserve their status amid global changes. Modern media, such as the internet and social networks, have also facilitated the spread of information about the movement, enabling followers and admirers to engage in cultural exchange with the wider world. This, in turn, has sparked discussions about the effects of globalization on local religious movements and whether they can maintain their distinctiveness in the context of extensive openness. In a rapidly changing world, where symbols are often reduced to ready-made templates, the Prince Philip movement remains a reminder of the power of belief and the complex ways in which humans reshape the world around them according to their spiritual and cultural needs. It is not merely a story of a man who became a symbol, but of a community that found in this symbol a means of expressing its identity and asserting its presence in the face of a long history of marginalization and change. This brings us to the end of our discussion. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell, and we will meet again in a new documentary.